Hello there and welcome to my new channel. If you've been here before, then welcome back. And if you've not been here before, then hopefully the next time I say welcome back, it will be to you. But the chances of you being here before are remote, because this is my second video and nobody but me has watched my first. Now, if you're looking at me and you're looking at the surroundings, no fancy camera and no fancy microphone or anything like that, and you're thinking about switching off, if that is what you're thinking about doing, then I promise you that this channel is especially for you. Because I am here for you, and I'm here to teach you and anybody else that wishes to be taught all sorts of life values and lessons. What could I possibly know you might not have figured out by now? Well, there's only one way to find out. It'll be a clickbait there, but that's not my style. So, if you read the title of my channel, okay, look at the profile picture, you'll wonder what has the first video and the concept of this video got to do with me being here for you and everything else. Well, the first video is football a beautiful game? Now, what interest would that have for a woman? Everything, if you watch it. The content of that video is everything and anything you would not expect. Now, not every inch of it, but I do go into areas as I go along that I think would be very beneficial to everybody involved in that subject, whether you're into football or you're in a relationship or you have a family member that's into football, okay? Because it's for you too. So I promise you that every single video that I make, even though the title might not suggest it, will be very beneficial to you in more ways than you may originally suspect. So, what is this? Well, the idea of this video, okay, because I have to merge on what subject to do next, is there is a gentleman who is not a gentleman on YouTube who claims himself to be an alpha male. So I decided to do a video on what is constituted as an alpha male. But I can't do that because everybody has their own idea of what an alpha male is. So I can't sit here and tell you it is this and it is that and it is the other. What I can do, is tell you what an alpha male is not, which is something I know everybody will agree on. Okay? Now, am I an alpha male? Am I? Well, every individual will decide that for themselves. As I've always said to people, what I am to you is what you perceive me to be. What I am to others is out of both of our hands. But I could sit here, okay, and impress the heck out of you. You might think, well, this guy's someone to listen to. This guy's really nice, blah, blah. But am I? Am I? Let me tell you what I am. I am somebody who's online in front of a camera making a video, just like anybody else online. And a lot of them are very, very impressive, and they're very clever, and they're very smart, and they're very good actors, and they know how to touch upon people to get their attention and gain their trust. Well, I'm no different than them. Outside of the truth that I give you in the subject, outside of that, you shouldn't take for gospel anything that you believe about me if you think it's in a positive or in the negative light. Okay, I could be the biggest scammer in the world. I might be here to try and impress you and gain your trust and everything else and blah, blah, blah. Now, I might be saying that in order for you to think, well, he wouldn't say that if he really was the bad guy. You don't know. I'm just somebody online. So your opinion of me really shouldn't be anything other than the knowledge and the lesson that I'm giving you, the information, shall we say. Outside of that, have no opinion of me. So, what isn't an alpha male, or we will get to what an alpha male is supposed to be, okay? You have been indoctrinated, and this is why people have different opinions of what an alpha male is, but we're also going to be looking at what a real man is. They do entwine, you know what I mean. So, first of all, okay, this is what a lot of people believe an alpha male to be because of a corrupt system that want you to believe that. You get your Vogue magazines and you've seen these Facebook posters, haven't you? Okay, of, there'll be a quote, and it's normally women that post it, and it's not against women. There'll be a man, a handsome man, young man in a suit, a three-piece suit, and he'll look suave, he'll look like a billionaire, and he'll be sitting in a leather chair with his legs crossed, and there'll be a quote. Yeah, you think that quote came from him? No, that is a random picture taken from the internet. The quote's put there. Do you know why they do that? Because they say that sex sells. They want you to believe that that man said that. Because when the women are looking at the quotes, the first thing they see is the man in the chair. Now, most of these women are in a relationship, and they will look, a lot of these women will look at that man, and suddenly they get this idea in their head of what a man is supposed to be. And then they look at their partner and they see there's no comparison. So now there is a high expectation for their man and any other natural, normal man in the streets. And it gets to a point where some women actually do believe that this now is reality. What they see in these pictures and in their Hollywoods and in their films and their 50 Shades of shit, okay, They actually believe that that's reality. Do you know how many families those films like that completely destroyed? Do you know how many? Do you know how many women got into those films and men and into the book, and it replaced their you-know-what life? And it did. And so again, there's this expectation, words on a page, picture on a screen. Suddenly, this is what people want in their life. But it's not reality. It's not reality. What I'm trying to get to you is that people have this idea of reality, which is completely fictional. So when you say to somebody, what is an alpha male? They look at films, they look at these pictures, they look at Hollywood, they look at all this garbage. You know that man sitting in that chair in that profile picture, that Facebook post, you know what that is? That's a guy who's just been paid a fortune to put on a suit that doesn't belong to him, sit in a chair, take many different pictures and many different angles while he's abusing everybody because he thinks he's the nuts and nobody's got the right to talk down to him, or his makeup's taking too long, or it's not right. And then they'll take these pictures of him looking suave, they'll put it in a machine and make him look a lot better than he actually looks. Because you know it doesn't look like that by eyesight, because it's all effect. And he'll get up and he'll go home and he'll just be a piece of trash and he'll be a womaniser. But you only get to see a picture. That's all that is. Just like 50 Shades of Garbage. Do you know how many takes it would have taken to do all of that? Do you think that's reality? If that was reality, what you see in there, then why haven't you heard stories like that from your friends and your family members and everything else? It's not reality. So if you are thinking, this is to the women, if you are thinking that these men and these stories and this garbage, okay, that you see is some form of reality, and that's what you believe an alpha male to be, that he's going to walk in a room in such a presentation and everybody's going to stop and look at him and see him as the glory of the party, it doesn't exist. It's not real. So you need to concentrate on reality, and you might want to start concentrating on your partner. Because if you're looking for an alpha male and you don't see your partner as an alpha male, then, do you know what I mean? But do alpha males exist? Do they? No, they don't. And we're going to prove alpha males do not exist. We've already proven they don't exist because everybody has their own independent idea of what it is. If something exists, it exists in its natural entirety in a form in which everybody will see it to be the same. But they don't. They see an alpha male to be, well, I see it to be this, and I see it to be that. What does exist is an ideology of an alpha male. But because of that alone, because nobody matches their opinions in its entirety in every way, it doesn't exist. It's an ideology. That's it. So, no, they don't exist. So we're going to be looking at what an alpha male definitely isn't if they did exist. This guy on the internet, he thinks he's an alpha male. We're going to show you what he believes an alpha male to be, okay? And this will be going on his page. But I don't name names, but this will be going in comments on his YouTube channel. First of all, this is what his idea of an alpha male is. You tell me what you think, women. This is to you, mate, because you need to listen up. Because even though there's no such thing as an alpha male, you do have an obligation to take the advice that I give. But if you don't, that's absolutely fine. The day might come where you wish you had. So, right, first of all, he goes online and he thinks verbal child abuse makes him an alpha male. Does it really? Because we're looking at a real man. Does a real man do that? Does an alpha male do that? He's got a nephew. And he just literally tears this kid apart. About 2 or 3 years of age. Or he was when I saw these videos, okay? 2 or 3 years of age. And he tears this boy down like you wouldn't believe. Online, publicly. He doesn't go to the child's mother, as his nephew, or to the boy itself, or to his mum, and say, look, we've got a problem. He tears this kid down. He tears this kid down for being a kid. Tears him down. Rips him apart. He's a pain in the arse. He's this, that, and the other, blah, blah, eating my food, eating this, eating that, and eating this in my house. But then he goes on to do the exact same about his mother and his sister. That's exactly what he does. Well, they came into my house and they helped themselves to my food. They went into my fridge and ate this, that, and the other. Let me tell you something. If you are considered to be as close to an alpha male as somebody can be, okay, let me tell you what you are. An alpha male isn't just somebody who presents himself to be good, if it did exist, and to present himself as a decent person. An alpha male who says, you are family. My door is open to you. We are one, we are blood. You come into my home and you take what you need any time that you need it, and you do not need to ask, especially if you have children. You come in, mum, you raised me, you gave me life, you come in, what's mine is yours. You come in, sister, we grew up together. We shared this world together, we shared experiences, good and bad. You come in, what's mine is yours. And if you need, and if your child's need, you take. Even if it means I have to go out and make a sacrifice. Go without and make a sacrifice. But this guy doesn't do that. He is so abusive about his family, it's unbelievable. Now, why would anyone do that towards their family? Why would he do that? Now, I understand some people are brought up in such a way really, really bad. They've managed to make riches, but they've never really gotten over it. But he's not said anything about this. This guy tears them down and calls the most horrendous names to all of them. So he's not, do you do that? Are you, man, are you doing that? So you're an alpha male? Are you that person, when you walk into a room, everybody desires and admires you, you're the king of the castle? Is that you? Are you a real man? Are you a real man? I don't know. What do you think the women think about that? What do you think? You see, how you treat your mother, your sister and your nephew to outsiders, if a woman would have interest in you and then she saw your behaviour towards them, what she's seeing is her future. Because if you're doing that to your immediate family, who you've known all your life, what's in store for her? Think about it. So, unless you're one of these people that put on that mask, you know, you're a certain person in front of certain companies and you chop and change. But that's up to you. Let me show you the water here for a second. So, anyone glad they stayed on? Because you might have a fella, you might have a friend, you might have somebody who needs to watch this. Give me a second for a minute, please, my friends. I do apologise. Right, so, how are we doing so far as a real man? Is he an alpha male? Is he an alpha male? Let's take a look, shall we? Now, if you have seen this guy, this might be a clue. You might actually be a giveaway. What is a relations between two people? It's private and it's confidential and it's between them. It is not up for public knowledge or debate. Ever. With anybody. This goes for men and women. It is not. You do not talk about your intimacy with anyone. Nobody. It is a private affair between you and whoever. Okay? That's it. So I'm not saying man, woman, just whoever. But it's a private. Okay? So, this guy who went such and such without being with a lady, and you can see why, okay, and he's certainly not a gentleman, he likes to come online straight away within hours, and I think one point it was when she went to the bathroom and he went straight online and told everybody that he had just done you know what. So what's he just done with this woman? He's made a total and utter mockery of her. He's just literally taken a private affair between them two, which she had no idea he was then going to make a public statement about afterwards, probably when they went to the toilet, or maybe just closed the front door to go to work, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to come back after they've seen that in his video, because if they do know him, they're probably familiar with his channel, so this guy's not very smart. So he's gone and done that straight away. Okay, so what do you make of that? What do you make of somebody who does that? Straight online, boom, thank you very much. Is that an alpha male? Is that an alpha male? Because apparently he thinks he is, and a lot of his followers thinks he is. But yet they see the same content that I see I'm bringing to you. So how comes they've come to a different conclusion when I know that the possibilities are that right now you're telling me that this guy is not what would be considered an alpha male if an alpha male did exist. So far, is he? Well, let's take a look at what he calls sex. Boom boom. This is a grown man, supposed to be an alpha male. Boom boom. I've just had boom boom. I've not had boom boom for a long time. This is a grown, so-called, mature, sensible adult. Oh boy, not a teenager, not a 14 or 15-year-old. This is an adult. Boom boom. But he's an alpha male. He's an alpha male. Of course he is. So women, if you were to have boom boom with a man and he then went online and told everybody, how would that make you feel? And what would it make you feel? How cheap would it make you feel if his description of what you just did was boom boom? Is that an alpha male? Is it? Is it? Let me tell you something about men today. Most men are not men. We're going to get to that right now. So, give me a second, my darlings. Right, now, let me prove to you that men are not men. Now, I went out and I spent a lot of money with Ireland and Next for clothes for my two YouTube channels. And you can see that I'm not wearing them. Not wearing them. Do you know I decided not to wear them? Do you know why? Because I don't want to be judged by presentation and image. I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want to feel comfortable. Got them, never worn them, still tagged. Okay, still tagged. So, if you can accept what I'm giving you according without the image, but rather than the person that I seemingly be, but the knowledge is the most important, then that's all that matters here. Okay, if you look past the fact that you don't get what you get on other channels, then we're halfway to a success. So, what are men? Is this an alpha male? Is this a real man? A man who says, right, I see everybody getting tattoos. I see all these men getting tattoos. So I've now got to get myself covered in tattoos. Is that a man? Is that a man? Is that what a man does? He goes and gets tattoos because everybody else got tattoos. Because you can see that there was an era where tattoos was the fashion. But that's one fashion statement you can't undo. It would be very painful, a long period of time and a lot of money, which most people don't have because they spend it all on tattoos. And the money they spent on those tattoos, they could have invested in self-employment, which could have secured them and their families for life. But, you know, you're going to go down the shops and pay for your gas and your electric and you've got no money with that tattoo. You see? So, and then that man says, I now have to go and cut chunks of flesh out of my ear and around here and stick a hoop in there with a glass panel so everybody can see my gum and my teeth and see right through my ear because everybody else did it. They got a piercing for their tongue and for their nose because everybody else did it. The fashion industry told me to do it and I have to follow that. So what is somebody who follows everybody else? Let me tell you something. I wrote this just a week or so ago and I stand by this. These are my words. What you make of it is up to you. Is this you? Right. You ready? Never be afraid to stand out. The following are my own words, but do they apply to you? A single rose will never go unnoticed. It does not blend in within a group of its kind. When you look upon it, you offer that one and one alone your full focus and appreciation towards its beauty. But no rose that sits amongst its kind will ever be appreciated as an original. So you can see where I'm coming from in life. But if you knew who I used to be, things I used to be into, and the crimes I used to commit, you'd be staggered. So, how well am I doing so far? Give me a second. Right, does an alpha male go and wear tracksuits and a hoodie because somebody else did it? No, he doesn't. Does an alpha male wear a baseball cap and does he wear it backwards because everybody else does it? No, he doesn't. Keep in mind what I just read. Does an alpha male wear the hoodie over his head indoors and everywhere he goes, regardless of the weather? No. Does an alpha male then go, right, I've got to wear that hoodie halfway across my head because everybody else is now doing that? Because you'll notice that's the fashion now. The baseball cap, then the hoodie, halfway across. Everybody, including men, are now doing exactly the same. It's getting to a point where you just can't tell one person from the other. Everybody's got to be what everybody's got to be. It's like these women who wear these disgusting, horrible nails, these curved nails and the square ones, the long ones, that make them look like a witch, that was sent out by a fashion industry to make you look like a whore, and that is exactly why they did it, because that is what you look like. Because if you don't wear it, you won't fit in. You'll be bullied, you'll be outcast. You won't feel like you're the same as everybody else. But you've got to have those nails just as much as he's got to have his hoodie and his baseball cap backwards and everything else, because that's what you were told to do by a fashion industry who wants you to look like a right proper you know what. Do these men with hoodies and tracksuits and trainers, do they look like men? Do they? No. Do they act like men? Do they present themselves like men, like gentlemen? No. No, they don't. So why do they do it? Because they've got to be like everybody else. Does an alpha male do that? No, of course he doesn't. An alpha male is an individual, if it was to exist, is somebody who stands back. You see, how can these people be alpha males if they're just like everybody else? But the definition of an alpha male is somebody who walks into a room and stands out as an original among everybody else. So it's a contradiction in term. So anybody who does these things because everybody else is doing it is not an adult. They're not mature. They're not a man. I'm going to be going more into depth on another channel, so we'll leave that one right there. But no alpha male, no man is a real man if he does or says in any or behaves in any way, shape or form because an industry tells him he has to or he won't fit in. Or he thinks this might be what attracts the women. Do you know that when men got out and got all these tattoos, they did so because it was an era where women were told it's a fashion statement to go out and be attracted to men who had tattoos. So all men went out and spent all their money on tattoos and the piercings, and they were working out, and all of a sudden all you saw was these bald working out men with piercings and tattoos everywhere, and women were going, that's my kind of guy. So they got them all down their neck and their face and everything else. But then something else came in and that was behind, and these guys are stuck with it. Do you know 10, 15 years ago, cutting a bit of your flesh out and sticking a hoop in it would have considered a mental illness, and they would have sectioned you. But then the fashion industry said, no, it's no longer a mental illness. Now it's normal, so people are doing it's normal. If you speak against it, you're a bigot. But 15 years ago, if you did it, they would have locked you away. You see how the system changes according to what suits its narrative and when it suits its narrative. So the world in itself is complete hypocrisy. So no, these men are not alpha males. This man in this video, he thinks an alpha male, goes onto YouTube, Okay, this is an alpha male. This is what he does. And 4 views will starve himself for 7 days, or stay awake for 72 hours, or he'll do sweet tests, or the latest test. He'll go, oh, I've seen this is the latest on YouTube, and that's the latest on YouTube, so I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. No. They go on YouTube and they go, right, what's the latest kind of video, what's the latest this, I've got to do it, get those views, get those likes, get those subscribes, get that money. Do I look like I'm going to get any of that? Not a chance. So, am I trying to impress anybody? Not at all. I've got nothing to gain from this, nothing. You don't have to subscribe, it's called bookmarking. You can do that and come back and see if there's anything in my videos that you like. So far, where's these alpha males? Because we know the men in the pictures in the Hollywoods, they're not real. You don't see men dressed like them and walking, looking like them walking through the street every day, but yet that's the standard that women are now set because of that. So you're actually looking for something that doesn't exist, while half-decent men that probably would look after you have been told to go away and to skedaddle because they don't see the narrative that's been set to you by these films, these books, these pictures and these magazines, and by a fake fashion industry that puts posters up everywhere of things that do not exist in reality. Because if you saw that man in those pictures walking down the street the next day, you wouldn't recognise him because he'd be in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and a baseball cap, probably backwards with a hood over it. It's only a picture taken which is paid to wear for that particular picture to pay his rent. And people really need to start seeing reality for what it is. So far, how many real men and alpha males are there? If you look around in your life and you take comparisons to what we've looked at which isn't real compared to what I've shown you is real in the world, which one's outweighing the other? How many men have you met according to Hollywood compared to the ones I've already given a description for? Think about it. Now, alpha males. What else does this guy do? Right. He swears like you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. And he does this video thing where he plays a game and then he's got all his live chats here. And he accepts donations for shout outs. I've got no problem with that. Okay? It's getting a bit dark. I'll just try to sort that out in a second. But what does he do? These shout outs, he accepts it. And all that comes through is absolute, disgusting, racist remarks. And he sits there and goes, oh, no. But he knew it was coming because that's all that happens. So each one he clicks on, he accepts. He knows that's what's coming. Or he runs the risk that it's coming. But then he does it. But then he has to look distorted about it before he does the next one. All he has to do is just stop doing it and it won't happen. But he doesn't because of the money. So it's a lie. Excuse me a second. So he's getting paid to apparently listen to something that he disagrees with and he doesn't like. Really? Let me tell you something. The moment you become the very thing that you claim to hate the most is the moment you've lost yourself. And that's what he's done. Because he's claiming he doesn't like it and he hates him, he does his head in and it's wrong, it's nasty, but yet he's willing to take $3 a go at each one that comes through. And he'll repeat this cycle every day or however long. So this is the guy who claims to be an alpha male. So is he an alpha male? Is he? If alpha males do have a particular standard, and it's just one fixture of what an alpha male is, does he fit that fixture? No. Do I? That's up to you, isn't it? It's up to you. Completely up to you. I'm the kind of guy, if I walked into a room, I'd stop and get everybody's attention and everything else. Not the way I'm forward and honest and stern. It's all out of love and passion. It's all for you. All for you. All right? If I see people watching, that's fine. Don't give a stuff about likes or subscribes. You can bookmark me, knock yourself out. These videos will always be here for you. So men, are you being a so-called alpha male for your lady? Because let me tell you something. If you're looking to walk into a room and appease everybody in that room, then you are definitely not an alpha male. Do you know why? Because an alpha male, if he existed, okay, would only be looking to please one section of persons, and that is his family. The opinions of anybody else outside of that should not matter. Shouldn't matter. When you've got your lady or your man or whatever and you've got your children, they're the ones that you provide for. Maybe even if you're on benefits, you still provide. You do the cooking, you do the cleaning, you do the shopping and everything else. You still have to put physical works into looking after them. Well, you should do. If you're sitting there and your missus is doing all the work for you, or your partner, if you're homosexual, then you've just got no rights to anything, really, as far as I'm concerned. So, they're the ones you should be looking at. When you walk in the room, they're the ones who look at you and go, wow, there's a man. There's a man. There's a man who never fails. Doesn't always get it right, but he never fails. There's a difference if you think about it, okay? So, the only way they're going to continue to look at you like that as time goes by, instead of it just becoming the same old as if you keep spicing things up. You always put yourself forward in everything that you do for them. Always. You never limp. You never wither. You start as you mean to go on, and you only get better, and you do not have honeymoon periods. Why do people use that phrase according to themselves, saying this is the best it's ever going to get, it's just going to get worse from here? That's Lady Gaga. So, you have an obligation to your family. If you're looking for anybody else outside of that, male or female or whatever, to admire you, other than your family, then what are you? What are you? Think about it. Apart from an attention seeker, you're vain. You're vain. Because you want everybody, your family's not enough, you want everybody to admire you. Do you know something about vanity, my friends? Vanity will never love anything more than it loves itself. So if somebody is vain and they are hitting on you, you might want to think twice about that. You might want to think twice. Who are they really going to love more than anything? Really going to love more than anything? They're making themselves look good. They make themselves look good for you or other people. We had a neighbour here. There's a woman in her everyday clothes when she's indoors, tracksuit bottoms, t-shirts. When she went out, low cut tops, miniskirt, backside hanging out with her fella. Was she making herself look like nice for her fella? No, because he was at home with her every other day when she was at home when she wore tracksuit bottoms and t-shirts. She went out to get the admiration and looks from other men, even though she was with her fella. So that was vanity. She actually done that because she thought, if I do this, they will look at me. That's vain. She actually believed I'm the one they're going to look at because she was self-loving. He realised that and he softened his toes. He was gone. So, no, there's nothing wrong with looking nice. I've got all those clothes, I've never worn them because I haven't been with a woman for over 7 years. I don't go out anywhere and I've got no woman or nobody to entertain or try to impress. So I'm just happy like this. I'm happy like this. Just give me a second again. So if your partner is putting themselves into you and you alone, you and you alone, they're not the kind of person who goes out and talks about you behind your back to your friends. Or if you've got a problem at home, they're going to their mates or their family members instead of coming to you to solve the problem, because it is between you two, then you're doing all right for yourself. Why does he have to actually be an alpha male? He's being a man. Man is somebody who says, what happens within this family unit stays within this family unit, and I don't discuss anything about you to anybody else unless it's in a positive light. If it's anything to do with negativity, then their mouth stays shut and they'll bring it to either you alone or they'll keep it to themselves because it's not really something that they wish or needs to be discussed. It's not that important. That's what a real man does. That's what a real man does. A real man never raises his voice to his partner or children. He just doesn't do it. I've got a 16-year-old daughter, never raised my voice to her once. Never. Never raised my voice to her once. Ever. Not a perfect dad in any way. Not the perfect dad in any way, shape or form. But raising your voice, hitting them, really? You sure about that? Sure about that? My daughter's 16, I've never smacked her once. The thought of actually creating physical pain to her is unbelievable. I mean, her face is so bad, that's pain enough, you know what I mean? But smacking her, punching her, kicking her, whatever, smacking her arse, sending her to bed. I've never even sent her to her bedroom. She's come in, she'd just stay up all night, even when she was small. There was no rules. It was the little time that I had with her. I made the most of it, and I let her stay up, do what she want, watch what she want, eat what she want, and that was it. Okay? So, but when you're at home with your family, right, and you know that football game's coming on, but your missus, she wants to, she even wants to go out. She needs you to go out because there's a party, there's an office party. She wants to bring a partner. How about that? How about that one? Watch the video about the football game. So is football a beautiful game? So how about that? How about if she wants to watch something on the other channel? How about that one? Even if you can watch one and record the other, would you still do that? Would you make that sacrifice? Would you do it? Would you do it? How about you want to go to the pub with your mates, but she wants to stay at home and have a romantic evening or just a nice quiet cuddle with a DVD? Would you do it? Would you do it? Would you do it every time that she asks? See, doing it once in a while, yeah, it's good. But what if she did it every single time? What if you had to do it every single time she asked? Would you do it every single time? Because if you won't, you're not a man. You're not a man. One day your missus might put you to the test and start asking things like that, even though she's got no intention of going through with it, just to see if you would. And if she does, and you fail, what are you telling her? You see, your job is to put her first. That's what a real man does. They come first. If you are a so-called alpha male, that's what you do. That is what creates you to walk in a room and be the very thing that stands out among all other people to your family alone. Not anybody else, not a party, not a club, nothing. Not your friends, your family. They're all secondary. They'll come and go, they'll stab you in the back, their opinion of you will chop and change. These are the people you've made a verbal and an emotional contract with. It's their opinion that matters and counts the most more than anything else. Anything. Can you do it? Can you do it? Are you a man? You a real man? Are you? Are you a so-called alpha male? I don't know. You might be. Or to you ladies, is he? I don't know. What about the guys mentioned on YouTube? Is he an alpha male? Not a chance. He actually believes if he walks in the room, people are going to go, oh, yeah, we see that he couldn't get a woman for years. I've chosen not to be with a woman. I've chosen not to have any forms of relations with any of them. It's a choice. And sometimes it's excessively hard. I do get tempted. But I remember things and I stop. It's just a conscious decision. There's nothing wrong, no illness or disease or anything like that. Just a choice. So, is he seeking one woman? Are you the only woman he's seeking, or your partner? You know, if you're a man's partner, are you the only person? Are they giving you reason to doubt that you're the only person? Any reason to doubt? Not that that means that they are. It may just be in your head. But I'm talking about genuine reasons which you know are not paranoid. Remember, you have an obligation to your man, if you want him to stay that way, okay, to give him every reason to want to continue to be loyal, to be that so-called alpha male, to be that man. Feed the fire and it will continue to burn. Okay? Every fire needs oxygen to survive. Be their oxygen. And then if they fail and they wither and they stop, then it's no fault of your own, is it? You can always say, well, look, I've always given you reason to stay as you are. Okay, so now that you're no longer the person who you used to be for whatever reason, but remember, your man will also need time out. He'll need a breathing space. He'll need a bit of time out on the balcony. He may need that night out by himself, just like you will. Remember that. Remember that. We all run off an emotional battery, and we all need that escape and that change of scenery. That's natural. That's something that nobody should ever deny anybody. But is he an alpha male? Is he? When you're walking down the street, okay, is he standing next to you or is he behind you? Tippy tappy, is he? Or is he always beside you? Always beside you, like your guardian, making sure that nobody comes into your space and cause you any threat. And your children, all about the family unit. The family unit. Anything outside of that is secondary, third, fourth and fifth. Okay, and it goes down the chain. So, is he? If I can come and stand closer to you, I'm talking of your woman, if I can come and stand closer to you in a public space without you feeling uncomfortable and I'm closer to you than what your partner is, then there's a serious problem. Have you heard that before? There's a serious problem. Serious problem. See, if you are a good couple, people will know you're a couple when you're in public. If people can't tell that you're an item when you're in public, then there's something wrong. Something very, very wrong. So, are you an alpha male? Are you a real man? Are you doing all these things? I could sit here, but I've got other videos that will cover other bases. Alpha male man. Are you women setting the goal high for your man? Hollywood, 50 Shades of Shit, and all this like that. It's just everything. You know this guy, the very recent guy who plays Superman, supposed to, the tall guy who's done Mission Impossible. Every woman wanted a man like that. You never see a man like that walking down the street, do you? It's not reality. Reality is what you have in front of you. Reality is the husband and the wife that you have. That's reality. That man you have, regardless how perfect or imperfect he might be, if he's trying his best, that's your alpha male. That's as close to an alpha male as you should ever look for. As long as they're putting their whole self into it, and they're not lying, and they're not cheating, they're not swearing, they're not abusing, they're not hitting, they're not controlling, they're not selfish, and they're putting you and your children first, that is your alpha male. He won't be everybody else's alpha male. He's your alpha male. But if he's not doing that, then maybe you should sit down and have a chat. Have a conversation with them. Not your family, not your gossiping little girlfriends who don't want you to be in a relationship, because the moment you go in a relationship, you're no longer with them having your girly nights out, and they want you all to themselves because you've broken the chain, and so their life is never the same. You're not here to fit in for them. The family unit's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Family. There's a system in the world already trying to destroy that. So don't let your friends and your mothers and your papas and all that lot destroy what you have. Unless there's abuse. And you know it, and they're trying to give you good advice, then you should listen. So outside of that, Is a guy on YouTube an alpha male? Not even close to an alpha male. Not even close. He thinks because he's like 6'5" or something, that makes him an alpha male. Now, I don't agree with the abuse he gets. He gets a lot of abuse because of his features. So he's certainly not going to be an alpha male on that. But we've already said it's not about the features, it's about how you present yourself. And this guy presents himself in the most despicable, disgusting way that I think I've ever seen a man present himself as, according to thinking he's an alpha male. I've seen worse people, but they don't come out saying that they're this, that and the other and everything great and fantastic and the garden's full of roses in their head, because it's not. So, this video is going to end right here, my friends. What do you think? Is your fella an alpha male, according to you? And I'm talking about your alpha male, because there is no such thing as a typical alpha male, because we've already established that everybody has different ideas of what that is, okay? So, there's no one fixed description. So, and is he a real man? Is he a real man? Well, only you can figure that out. He might be a real man for you, but if he's with somebody else, they might desire something more than a man. They may be too much, so they won't consider them to be a real man, but it'll be them that's actually out, swimming outside of the boat. So, are you looking further afield because of Hollywood, because of magazines, 50 Shades of Shit and all that lot? Are you actually looking at that? Are you allowing that to be your sex life? Are you allowing it to be a placement for your sex life? Or are you needing that to get you going so that you can then go with your fella? Because if that is the case, you've got nothing to moan about if your fella starts turning a bit nasty on you. Stop watching all this stuff which was designed to ruin your relationship, like fashion and all of this. Stop being off the wall. Stop getting tattoos because somebody told you to. Stop getting piercings because somebody told you to. Stop wearing those ugly nails because somebody told you to. And all you women, stop doing all this with your fingers and this, and this, and this, and this, and this because you saw somebody else do it. That's one of the reasons why I don't date, because I'm nothing like that there. And I don't want a woman who's going to sit there playing with her hair, flicking the hair, wearing these nails, doing all this with their fingers and pushing their fingers into their lips, and it's just saying all this back of the hand stuff. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not anything. What did I read on there about being an individual? I'm an individual. I choose to be as I am. And I'm not rich or anything like that. Besides the clothing I just bought, which I bought for this, but I've chosen not to. But I'll find some means to wear it for, I don't know. So, but I choose to be me. I choose to be an individual. And you can see by the two videos I've made so far that I am, or I believe myself to be considered an individual. I do run another channel, but that's not for today. You'd have to get used to me before I tell you anything about that. And if you think I'm firm on here, you want to see what I do on that. That blows people's minds to the point where there's absolutely no debate in comments anywhere. And you lot people a lot on YouTube or anywhere. They debate and they argue. There, in 40 odd videos, not one single comment in debate or argument yet. One of them had 151 views in one night, and there was no argument from anybody, not one. They couldn't all agree with what I said. But what I do refutes all argument that can't be argued, to the point where people who don't believe me start eating their own face, but they can't refute it, so they stay silent because they know otherwise they're naming the shame of themselves. So you can go against anything I've said. There's comments, it's open, help yourself. Help yourself. I choose to be what I am, and this video is made solely for you. I've got nothing to gain from it. I'm trying to get you at the very least to stop with this because everybody else is doing it, because everybody else is watching it, because everybody else is wearing it, because everybody else looks like this, especially when it comes to marking your body, which is for life, cutting chunks of flesh out of your body to stick rings and hoops in, looking like everybody else, acting like everybody else. Be an individual. You want to be an alpha male to your family, be an individual to your family. Because if you're just the same as everybody else out there, then your missus is just going to say, well, you know better than anybody else, so I might as well just go and pick somebody else, because regardless of what I do, the circumstances don't change. Prove to them that you're different. Keep giving them reasons to look at you as an individual, and by then, if you keep doing that, they'll never tie you with the same brush with the outside world, and you'll always be that special one in their eye. What you do with what I do is up to you. I'm not here to be popular, I'm not here to be liked, I'm certainly not going to be reloaded. If I am popular, it's not going to be for all the reasons that people want to be popular. Okay? It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm sure I'll get in a relationship one day, but can you imagine what it's going to be like? My humour is just outrageous as my passion and my sternness. You want to see my humour. I am Mr. Shenanigans on a humorous site. So just trust me on this one. Just trust me. I've got a personality. You couldn't make it up. I'm thinking about writing comedy sketches and things like that. One of the reasons I don't want to is because if you look at comedians today, you're obliged to write jokes about things that you shouldn't be writing jokes about. And Peter Kane and Lee Evans like to make little jokes about certain things which are very, very offensive. Not woke or anything like that. I'm talking about jokes about rape and things like that, okay? So, I do love you all. That's why I do it. I do it all for you. I never used to be this guy. I used to be a bit of a career criminal, very nasty man. Drugs, substance abuse, pornography, cheating, lying, stealing, gambling. It's just everything and anything, okay? So, if I can, and in the end, anybody can. I'm still a young pigeon. Mate. I'm telling you, yeah, really? Yeah. So, I love you. That's why I do it. Hopefully I'll see you again. If I do, it's only a compliment to both of us. It's a compliment to me because it means I've done something right. It's a compliment to you because it means that you're logical, you're smart, and you've taken the advice of the greatest man that ever lived. That's a joke in itself. Totally got a sense of humour. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.